If this appeared in front of you at this exact moment, don't rush to call it coincidence. Not because the universe is whispering secrets, but because moments like this test whether we are awake enough to listen. There are times when life does not shout. It places something quietly in our path and waits to see if we have the discipline to recognize it, not as magic, not as prophecy, but as a mirror. We often look for signs outside ourselves, events, people, luck, misfortune, yet overlook the most demanding signal of all, the call to govern our inner world. Ancient thinkers understood this deeply. They believed that what we encounter is less important than how we respond. The sign is never the event. The sign is the response it demands from us. If this message reached you, consider this. Perhaps it is not telling you that something extraordinary is about to happen. Perhaps it is reminding us that we are meant to become extraordinary in how we face what already is. Epictetus taught that life does not hurt us. Our judgments about life do. This is a brutal truth, but also a freeing one. Because if judgment is the source of suffering, then discipline is the path out. Not control over the world, but mastery over impulse, fear, and resentment. We live surrounded by noise, endless opinions, endless comparison, endless emotional provocation. Most people live reactively, dragged by outrage, desire, envy, and regret. They mistake intensity for meaning, but we feel, somewhere deep inside, that this is not the way. This feeling is not weakness, it is recognition. The ancients spoke of logos, a rational order underlying everything, not chaos, not randomness, order. And when something interrupts our routine and forces reflection, it is not superstition to pause, it is wisdom. Marcus Aurelius, writing to himself in moments of exhaustion and doubt, reminded himself that he was placed where he was for a reason, to act with justice, restraint, courage, and clarity, regardless of circumstances. He never waited for life to become easier before becoming stronger, and neither should we. This message is not asking you to wait for rescue. It is challenging you to stop postponing responsibility for your inner state, to stop handing your peace to people who do not know how to carry it, to stop letting fleeting emotions decide permanent actions. If there is a sign here, it is this. You are being called to stop reacting and start ruling yourself. Seneca warned that a person who is a slave to anger will never be free, no matter how powerful they appear. Anger feels like strength, but it is leakage. Fear feels like caution, but it often disguises avoidance. Desire promises fulfillment, but leaves restlessness behind. We recognize this pattern because we have lived it. And now, something within us is tired of bleeding energy into things we cannot control. This is where fortitude begins, not in dramatic change, but in quiet refusal. Refusal to complain where action is possible. Refusal to panic where patience is required. Refusal to hate where understanding is stronger. Modern researchers who study Stoic practices, such as cognitive reframing and voluntary discomfort, have shown their impact on emotional regulation and resilience, but long before laboratories confirmed it, disciplined minds practiced it daily, choosing reason over impulse, values over validation, purpose over pleasure. If this appeared on your feed, maybe it is because you are ready to hear a harder truth. No external sign will save us, but inner alignment will. God, fate, nature, call it what you want, does not beg for belief. It demands character. We are not here to be comforted. We are here to be formed. Every obstacle, every delay, every moment of frustration is raw material. The question is not, why is this happening to me, but who am I becoming because of this? That shift in question changes everything. We stop waiting. We stop blaming, we stop numbing ourselves with distraction, and we begin the only work that has ever mattered, refining the self. This message does not promise ease, it promises meaning. And meaning is heavier than comfort, but it is also stronger. So if this crossed your path today, take it as an invitation, not to believe blindly, but to live deliberately, to govern your thoughts, to temper your emotions, to act in alignment even when no one is watching. Because the clearest sign you were ever given was not on your feed. It was the moment you realized that peace, strength, and dignity were always your responsibility and always within reach. Sign 2. You recognize patterns where others see chaos. Intelligence is often mistaken for speed, memory, or cleverness, but the truly intelligent mind sees what others cannot. The hidden threads, the subtle patterns, the structure beneath apparent disorder. If you notice connections before others do, or understand motives and consequences instinctively, this is more than observation. It is a hallmark of a highly intelligent mind. Most people move through life like leaves in a storm, buffeted by circumstance, reacting without seeing the forces shaping them. They are enslaved to the immediate, the visible, the loud. But we begin to perceive the invisible. We see that events repeat themselves, that human behavior follows discernible rhythms, that chaos is only surface noise over an underlying order. Marcus Aurelius, writing amid political turbulence and personal loss, constantly reminded himself, "Everything that happens is as it must be. The pattern is clear if you observe without passion." This is the essence of pattern recognition. We do not simply react to events. We examine them, dissect them, and anticipate what will come next. This gives us power not because the world bends to us, but because we bend ourselves to understand it. To recognize patterns requires patience. It requires resisting the urge to leap at surface explanations. It requires stepping back from emotion, distraction, and impulse, and observing calmly. Seneca wrote that the mind that rushes loses clarity. The mind that observes gains freedom. When we notice patterns, we are no longer slaves to circumstance. We begin to move deliberately, strategically, almost preemptively. This skill also builds resilience. By understanding that challenges are rarely random, we stop fearing them. We see that adversity follows predictable cycles, and preparation becomes our ally. Epictetus taught that misfortune is an opportunity to practice virtue. Those who recognize the pattern in misfortune know that no hardship is permanent and every trial is material for growth. Highly intelligent people also notice patterns in people. We see motives that remain invisible to the casual observer. We see when others act from desire, fear, or pride before they act. This is not manipulation, it is awareness. Awareness allows us to navigate social landscapes with discretion and wisdom, avoiding unnecessary conflict and cultivating alliances rooted in reality rather than illusion. Pattern recognition also encourages foresight. We begin to anticipate outcomes, calculate risks, and act with precision. Decisions are no longer impulsive. They are informed by observation and reflection. We understand that life is not a sequence of random events, but a web of cause and effect. And within that web, we can move consciously. Recognizing patterns does not make life predictable. It does not remove struggle, but it does give clarity where confusion reigns. It makes us harder to deceive, easier to endure, and capable of acting with strategy rather than reaction. If you feel this within yourself, if you often see what others overlook, connect dots others miss, or anticipate outcomes instinctively, know this: you are operating on a level few reach. Your mind is awake to the underlying structure of reality, and this awareness is both a responsibility and a power. The world may not recognize it, people may misunderstand it, but the intelligent mind never seeks validation, it seeks understanding. And in understanding, we gain freedom. In understanding, we gain mastery. And in mastery, we are no longer moved by chaos because we see its pattern, and therefore we rise above it. Sign 3. You constantly question, even the things others take for granted. One of the most overlooked signs of high intelligence is the relentless habit of questioning, not for argument's sake, nor for ego, nor to appear clever, but because you cannot accept things at face value. You see layers where others see surfaces, and you feel compelled to understand causes, motives, and consequences. Most people live their lives on autopilot. They follow routines, repeat inherited beliefs, and accept what is presented as fact without examination. They rarely pause to ask, why is this happening? Why do we value this? Why do we feel compelled to react this way? The intelligent mind, however, is never satisfied with appearances. It probes deeper. It recognizes that clarity, self-mastery, and true understanding are impossible without questioning. Marcus Aurelius, in his private reflections, constantly interrogated his own thoughts. He asked himself why he reacted in certain ways, why others behaved as they did, and whether his own judgments were clouded by pride, fear, or desire. He understood that insight is born not from passive observation, but from active, disciplined scrutiny. This is why questioning is not a sign of doubt. It is a sign of depth. When we question consistently, we develop independence from social pressures. We resist adopting popular opinions blindly. We refuse to let emotion or authority dictate our beliefs. Epictetus taught that freedom begins when we recognize that the mind belongs to us alone, and no external force can govern it without consent. High intelligence manifests in this freedom, the ability to evaluate everything with reason before accepting it as truth. Questioning also trains emotional resilience. By examining our reactions and beliefs critically, we uncover hidden biases, desires, and fears that subtly drive our behavior. Each discovery is an opportunity to recalibrate, to align with rational judgment rather than impulse. Seneca emphasized that self-awareness and reflection are the foundation of virtue. Intelligence and virtue are intertwined because both demand a refusal to accept the superficial or the convenient. This habit makes life both heavier and richer. Questioning exposes complexity, uncertainty, and ambiguity. It reveals that truth is rarely simple, that human motives are layered, and that outcomes often depend on subtle, unseen forces. But this discomfort is exactly why intelligence is forged. We do not fear complexity, we embrace it. We understand that mastery of life begins with mastery of perception. Highly intelligent minds also question others, not to belittle or dominate, but to understand. We read beneath words, interpret actions, and discern motives. Social patterns, moral contradictions, and behavioral inconsistencies become visible to us before they are obvious to anyone else. This awareness allows us to navigate the world strategically, ethically, and with precision. If you feel this within yourself, if you cannot accept things without examination, if you are often probing beneath surfaces while others remain satisfied, you are operating on a rare level of consciousness. Your mind is disciplined, vigilant, and alive to nuances most never perceive. Questioning is not a rebellion. It is a responsibility. It is the practice of intelligence in its purest form, rigorous, relentless, and unwavering. And in this practice, we do not merely understand the world, we begin to master ourselves. Sign 4. You are quietly observant, more interested in understanding than being understood. One of the most powerful signs of high intelligence is the ability to observe quietly while others speak, react, and perform. We notice details, patterns, and contradictions that escape the attention of those rushing to impress or dominate conversation. This is not shyness. It is deliberate, strategic awareness. Most people measure presence by volume, how much they speak, how strongly they assert themselves, or how many opinions they broadcast. But intelligence often manifests in restraint. Marcus Aurelius frequently reminded himself to value thought over display. He understood that what matters is not how loudly we declare understanding, but how clearly we perceive reality. Being quietly observant allows us to see beyond surface appearances. We notice subtle expressions, hidden intentions, and patterns of behavior. We sense motives before they are verbalized and understand context before it is explained. Epictetus taught that the wise person distinguishes between what is in their control and what is not. Observation without impulse is the first step toward exercising that control. This habit also cultivates patience. While others are eager to respond immediately, we pause. We absorb information, reflect, and assess before acting. This pause is a form of discipline. It transforms reaction into strategy, chaos into comprehension. High intelligence does not rush. It calculates, anticipates, and acts deliberately. Quiet observation strengthens emotional regulation. By watching without immediately reacting, we avoid being manipulated by the impulses of others or by our own unchecked emotions. Seneca warned that those who are ruled by impulse are never free. Observing first allows us to respond wisely, maintaining inner stability while the world around us often succumbs to drama. Moreover, the observant mind grows empathy and insight. We begin to understand people and situations at a level beyond superficial judgments. This does not mean we are controlled by sentiment. On the contrary, observation allows us to act decisively while remaining detached from unnecessary emotional entanglement. If you often find yourself listening more than speaking, analyzing more than reacting, and perceiving patterns where others see noise, you are showing a mark of deep intelligence. Your mind is tuned to reality, not performance. You are not seeking attention, you are seeking truth. This subtlety makes us underestimated. Others may overlook us, mistaking silence for passivity. But in truth, observation is the foundation of mastery. Mastery of self, of situations, and of understanding. Being quietly observant is not passive. It is disciplined, deliberate, and profoundly intelligent. In cultivating it, we become capable of navigating life with clarity, patience, and a strength that is rarely seen but always felt. Sign 5. You are comfortable with complexity, while others seek simplicity. A hallmark of high intelligence is the ability to embrace complexity without fear. While most people prefer clear-cut answers, easy solutions, and the comfort of simplicity, you feel at home in nuance. You see shades where others see black and white, causes behind effects, and patterns within chaos. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the universe is orderly, yet infinitely intricate. To understand it requires patience, reflection, and the willingness to dwell in uncertainty. Highly intelligent minds do not panic when problems have no immediate solution. Instead, we analyze, adapt, and tolerate ambiguity. Complexity becomes a field for insight, not anxiety. This trait also strengthens decision-making. While others react to the simplest, most obvious path, we account for layers unseen. We anticipate consequences, evaluate motives, and act with strategy. Epictetus emphasized that wisdom lies in discerning what is in our control and what is not. Comfort with complexity allows us to navigate both with clarity. Emotionally, this mindset reduces impulsivity. When life presents contradictions or moral dilemmas, we resist the urge to oversimplify. Seneca reminded us that virtue is found in judgment, not convenience. By thinking deeply and embracing difficulty, we remain composed when the world pressures us into hasty action. If you find that you rarely accept things at face value, that you enjoy untangling complicated ideas, or that you are patient with uncertainty while others panic, this is not overthinking. It is a sign of intelligence. You see the world as it is, not as it is presented to be. Being comfortable with complexity is more than mental strength. It is emotional resilience and strategic vision combined. It allows us to act decisively in ambiguity, remain unshaken by chaos, and see paths where others see only obstacles. In this, we find freedom. Freedom from reaction, from fear, from the blind rush of the crowd. Intelligence is not merely what we know, it is how we perceive, endure, and navigate the intricate reality that surrounds us.